This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and for the first time in a while, I am joined by Raza Hamza over Zoom. Raza, Happy New Year. I hope you could enjoy the festive period as best as what you could. What did you get up to, mate?
Over the New Year, just chilled out, mate. Weren't a lot we can do. Been at home for the last 3.5, 4 weeks, spending quality time with my family, just chilling. I mean, did a bit of training in the first week, but then after that, just took my foot off the gas, bro, and just really chilled out.
Raza, talk to me about this past year or so, because you haven't fought for what, slightly over a year now since you last fought, and I know how frustrating a period this has been in your career. Talk to me about kind of this last year and why exactly you haven't been able to get a tune out of it.
Well, I was meant to fight in March 1st. A week after we went into lockdown was the time I meant to fight against a Mexican in a 10 rounder, but obviously we went into lockdown. That fight didn't happen, and then for 4 months or 3 months there was no boxing. But then boxing returned in July, and by then I had a new manager. And I was in Manchester training, just to get away from home. But I was promised I was meant to fight in July. Promised I was meant to fight in August. Promised I was meant to fight in September. Basically promised to fight every month, but nothing come off it for one reason or another. Nothing to do with me. I was training. I was focused. I was on it every single day. But yeah, promises were made, and I just they weren't delivered, and I didn't fight. But I mean, boxing aside, it's been a bad year for everyone. Do you know what I mean? A lot of fighters ain't fought, and yeah, that's it really, mate. It's just been 2020 has been a terrible year.
Raz, obviously you linked up with Tunde Ajayi, who was your manager last year. Kind of what was the plan that Tunde had set out for you? What has he said to you about moving forwards into
Mm.
this year?
Tunde's plan was to get me active as I can, really. I mean, I was told, I've promised I'll be fighting before the end of the year. First I promised I'll be fighting in the summer, and I was training hard. It didn't happen. Then I was promised to be fighting before the end of the year, but then there was problems with my contract, my promotional contract, which I'm not with Queensbury anyways. And it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And listen, in this sport, I'm 27 now. I mean, I'm not in this sport to make friends. Do you know what I mean? I need to look after my health, get as many fights as I can, and be out of the sport before it's too late. And it just weren't working for me in Tunde. So the plan moving forward with me to get released from my contract, which Tunde released me, and going to 2021. Well, we're in 2021 now. I'm just, you know, looking for a new manager and looking to move forward and not looking back.
Tunde is a character who can divide opinion, certainly over social media. Raza, was that an easy conversation to have? How did that go down?
I asked for my contract back, and obviously, you know what Tunde is like, and it didn't go down the best, but at the end of the day, I got my contract back, and that's all that mattered, really. I'm not one of them people to sit and say, oh, this and that and this and that, but I got my contract back at the right time when I needed to get it back. And listen, at one stage, I didn't want to even box anymore. I thought to myself, what am I getting out of this? Do you know what I mean? I'm just waiting around. I'm 27. This pandemic, I mean, I ain't got a promoter. Remember, I don't have a promoter. So if you don't have a promoter, it's a problem for you. It's a big problem unless you're looking to take a fight on 8 days' notice and come in as an opponent. But I just didn't want to do it no more. But you know what? I'm focused again, and I keep telling myself, which I know, boxing is all I've got. Do you know what I mean? I've given my whole life to this, so it's daft for me with everything I've been through to walk away from the sport. So I'm not gonna pack it in. Obviously, I'm just looking for a new manager. I'm gonna get the right manager who's gonna, you know, look after me and do what's right for me. I'll sign with him and I'll be in the ring before you know it, hopefully.
Talking about that, Raza, this kind of new stage in your career once again of needing to find a new manager. looking for a new promoter once again and effectively trying to restart your career almost. Are you feeling a pressure to make sure that this one is the right one now?
Promoter, I don't care about because a lot of top fighters or a lot of fighters don't have promoters. They're just with one promotional team who they work with. Do you know what I mean? For example, a lot of the fighters who fight on the Matchroom show, they're not with Matchroom, but they've got a good understanding with Eddie Earn and stuff like that. But listen, this year I need to make the right decisions. I mean, I've made the wrong decisions in the past with the wrong management and stuff. But this year I need to make the right decision with the right manager. And with the right manager, the right things will happen. You just need the right manager who actually delivers instead of telling you he's going to deliver. Do you know what I mean?
I know it's early days yet as a free agent, Raza, but have you got ideas in your mind as to who you'd like to talk to, who you may be talking to in the near future?
Not really, not really. I just have to rate my options really, and speak to a few people. I just at the moment all I'm doing is trying to find my focus again after the new year and the Christmas break. It's hard sometimes to get back in the gym, but I'm back in the gym. I'm training. I'm gonna start sparring soon, and maybe I'll start speaking to a few people because we know in January nothing's going on anyway. Anyways, possibly February there might not be no boxing unless you're fighting abroad. I've heard late February boxing might start or something, but nobody knows. So I'm not really in no rush. I'll speak to my trainer Haroon. I'll sit with him, speak to him, and listen, see what options we have, and just put myself out there really. And if the right one comes along with the right fights, then why not?
Just a final thing with Tunde, Raz, before we move on and to look towards your career this year and who you'd like to face. Obviously, we saw last year he had rather a number of fighters he was able to get out on shows. Was that kind of a particularly frustrating thing for you to see that you wasn't one of those guys he was able to get out onto a show at least once?
Yeah, I was the only fighter. I was the only fighter who never fought. I was the only fighter who never fought. But listen, it is what it is. Like you can't I can't sit here now and cry about spill milk. It's happened. It's happened for the good. But I look at everything in a positive manner, and it's just made me a better person. It's made me more hungry going into the new year. And when I do get my opportunity, and when I do get the fights I deserve, I believe I deserve good fights now because I've given boxing everything, and everybody will see how good I am. And that's when managers I've worked with or promoters I've worked with in the past will see this kid was the real deal.
Raza, talk to me about potential opponents for this year. If you could kind of line them up, how would you see your 2021 playing out?
Anyone, Andy, honestly, anyone. I'm not one to shy away from a challenge as long as it makes sense. As long as any fight makes sense, as long as I'm not rang up 10 days before, would you like this fight in 10 days? Like, I'm a big featherweight. I struggle to get down to featherweight, so I'm going to need a few weeks. But anyone, Isaac Lowe's a shitbag. You're a shitbag if you watch this, Isaac Lowe. You are a shitbag because you don't want to fight me. You talk about fighting all of these champions and doing this and doing that. No, you are a shitbag. You should come out and take my challenge. If I'm a shit fighter, okay, fight me. Put this out for me. Fight me. If I'm that shit fighter, why can't I be your first fight of 2021? Just as a warm up fight in a 10 rounder. You can fight me and then you can go on to fight all the champions. But I promise you, after you fight me, you won't be fighting all champions because I'm gonna beat you. Because I know how to beat you, and you know how to. I know how to beat you. But yeah, you keep fighting these grade grade D Mexican fucking what's it called, window scrapers and taxi drivers, and they're gonna get your high world ranking, ain't they? But yeah, Isaac Lowe, I'd love to fight him. Who else is it? I'd love to fight Francesco Dangeli. He's from Italy. If Eddie Earn puts on shows in Italy, and listen, you need an opponent for Francesco Dangeli, who won the WBC International Silver, I'll go to his backyard and fight him. Just give me a camp, give me 5 6 week notice. That's what I ask for. Give me 4 week notice. And who else? Tell me. Whoever's there at featherweight. and is potentially a threat, or is a champion and looking for a fight. Listen, I'm not on about these world champions because maybe they're 1 or 2 steps ahead of me, but anybody else who's had 15, 20 fights and is on the way up, listen, I'll fight them.
Raza, the British title is vacant. I don't exactly know where you are ranked with regards to the British scene, but
I'm ranked number 25 in Britain because I ain't fought all year. But you know what? That's because of my inactivity. But there's fighters who are ranked before me who are shit. Do you know what I mean? But it's only a ranking, isn't it? Once I'm back in the ring and once I fight and beat somebody half decent or whoever, I'll be in top 10 before you know it. And listen, people who know boxing in Britain, people know, man, I'm a good fighter. You can ring anyone who I've shared the ring with, or you can ask any trainer what's he like, and they'll say he's a good fighter. I hold my own with everybody, but they'll see, they'll see.
Raz, it's a surprise to you. We know that we've spoken about this number of times before. You've shared the ring with Noi Nue, you've shared the ring with Callum Gamal Yafai, shared the ring with Jordan Gill, who's level below theirs. We were both at world level in Callum Noi Nue's cases. Has it surprised you at all that kind of the exploits you've had with regards to your sparring experiences hasn't maybe put you in better stead with your career so far?
Yeah, it's very disappointing because I've been sharing the ring with world class fighters since I turned pro. I mean, the likes of even Stuart Hall when he's at top of his game. I was sharing the ring with these top boys, and I still am. Like I even spar top featherweights. I mean, top super featherweights. You know what I mean? I spar a lot of fights, but listen, it's a saying. It's a saying. But whatever's written is written, isn't it? Some of these boys have had their opportunities and took them. Obviously, I just need to keep working hard, and whenever my opportunity comes, I'll take it. But you ask any of the boys I've sparred, they're all full of praise for me.
Raza, just moving forward, just want to get your thoughts on a few other things before I leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Just to stick with the featherweight scene, we're awaiting some form of an announcement on Josh Warrington versus Kanju in a unification
Yeah,
fight. Once that is
yeah.
rubber stamped and announced, what are your thoughts on it?
Josh Warrington's a bad boy. Is one of the best fighters on the planet in his weight, which is proved his work rate, the way he fights, his ringsmanship, everything he does. If you know boxing, is a special fight. He knocks him out. He beats him comfortably. He beats him on points comfortably. He knocks him out.
You move forwards once again. Just want to get your thoughts on kind of a lightweight scene because we've had a lot of talk of this past week or so on the back of Ryan Garcia's victory against Luke Campbell. Just take me back to that night, Raza. Firstly, what did you make of Ryan's victory?
Very ferocious. He boxed in a manner where zero fucks were given. Basically, he just walked to him there, and he didn't respect his power, even when he was put on his ass. He went back to the corner and he goes to his trainer. Luke Campbell ain't doing shit. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, like, if you know boxing, Luke Campbell is a serious fighter. Anybody in Britain, from the GB setup all the way to the pros, will tell you he's a serious fighter. And you know what? I even had a bet on Luke Campbell to win because he's very good. But the kid that Ryan Garcia is a good fighter, man. He proved it that day. He proved it. He just come out. He was ferocious. He never gave Luke Campbell no space, and he got the job done. But I think Luke Campbell could have stopped him in the second round if he just stepped on him and could have stopped him.
There's a lot of talk now about kind of where that leaves the lightweight scene. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney is about to be ordered, or if it hasn't been ordered, it will be ordered very soon by the WBC. What are your thoughts on that, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney?
I think Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney is a better fight than Ryan Garcia fighting Tank. I mean, the way if you watch Ryan Garcia with Luke Campbell, see, I watched these fights very careful. Tank's a southpaw, sitting in the inside and having your lead foot, Ryan Garcia's left foot in the inside. Tank's gonna destroy him. Like Javante Davis is made to fight like that. He's not taking a step back. If you know boxing, like, you'd know that. I think Divine Haney is a better fighter for Ryan Garcia. Better fight for Ryan Garcia. I think Ryan Garcia potentially can win that fight. I think he can win that fight. I think it's a genuine 50-50 fight, but Tank Davis wipes the floor with him.
And final thing I just want to touch on and get your thoughts on. Amir Khan's come out earlier this week saying he wants the Khan-Brook fight this year. Just your thoughts on that? Are you still interested in it? And if so, how do you think it would play out if we did see
it? It's not the fight it once was. Is it even pay-per-view anymore? Would you say that's a pay-per-view fight? A lot of boxing fans have lost interest in it. That fight's come 4 or 5 years too late for me. 3, 4 years too late. And I think, I don't know, I think Khan-Brook beats him. Khan-Brook's activity, in boxing, activity is a big thing. Khan-Brook's just shared the ring with Terence Crawford. Khan ain't fought for I don't know how long. And Khan-Brook looks like he's always in the gym. Like, he looks like he's always training. See, Khan is always in a shisha lounge somewhere. So, I don't know. I think Khan-Brook beats him. But that fight's far too late. And I don't think... Do you think it's pay-per-view?
it could be sold as pay-per-view because even though the interest isn't what it once was, but it's still going to have a lot of people tuning in because I think it's one of them fights where everybody's still curious to see what happens. So I think it would be sold as a pay-per-view, but again, I don't work on that side of the boxing world, so I'm not one to say.
I personally think Brook beats him. I think he knocks him out with the right hand.
Well, Raza, we'll leave that one there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. But I'm going to leave a final word to yourself. For everybody who's going to tune in to follow your career once again this year, what would you like to say to them ahead of your 2021?
The people who have been supporting me, keep supporting. And the cream always rises to the top, doesn't it? So once I get my opportunity, people of British boxing and everywhere will know what I'm all about. And listen, I'm not one to say too much. They'll see themselves. Let me just get in the ring and I'll show everybody how good I am.
Raza, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you for the first time this year. I'm sure it will not be the last. Look after yourself and I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you, Andy.